Hey folks, here we are with another Real Deal in the Field. Again, we've got Viv and Adrian, some of my former students, out here with project number 2. So firstly, congrats on that, folks. Well done.
Thank you.
Now, you've picked this up in quick succession from your previous project. And if anyone watched the previous projects, Real Deal in the Field, they would have seen you had a little bit of a creative story that you had there with regards to how you worked with the agent. How did that play out here?
So after picking up the first project with that first agent, we formed a good relationship with him, and he actually brought this site to us off market. So we were able to secure this site before it actually hit the market, and we got it at a really good price, and it's in a really good suburb. So we're really happy.
So this is a suburb called Gladesville, which is just around the corner from their previous project in Ryde. Now, if you can hear the noise, there's a whole bunch of construction that's happening out the front. So what we're going to do, we're going to pop out the back because we're going to be able to hear ourselves talk and do this recording. So we'll see you in a sec, folks, and we'll continue the story out the back. See you soon. Hey, folks, here we are out the back where it's a little bit quieter and we can actually talk to ourselves and hear ourselves think. So a couple of challenges that you had on site. So firstly, the site sloped towards the rear of the property, and as most people know, sewer and stormwater can't go downhill. So what did we actually try to do to solve that particular problem?
Yeah, so with that opportunity, we actually did a bit of cut and fill, and we raised up the slab essentially, and then we put in the charge line and some tanks to push the water back to the front to the street.
So I love the fact that you said the opportunity. So it wasn't a problem, it was an opportunity. Basically lifted the site up at the rear. So the slab is actually much higher off the ground towards the rear. That created an opportunity to push the water towards the front. It goes into some detention tanks on the side to slow everything down so it can trickle feed into the street. But that's how you actually solve those sorts of problems, folks. So it can be done. You can push shit uphill, apparently. Now, you had some other other issues. So clearly, I guess you acquired this at a very similar timeline to your other project, and the other project was massively impacted by rain. Was this one done as well?
Yeah, pretty much. And it happened at around the same time we were trying to raise the site. So there was a lot of dirt and mud everywhere and just, rainy weather to deal with.
Causing lots of delays and those sorts of things. And also, I guess that was about the time where we had the building bonus kicking in, and everyone around us were doing lots of builds. And so every builder was busy and every tradie was busy. Did that cause any problems on site?
Yes, we had, because it was during the height of COVID, so a lot of the trades were sent back, especially brickies. A lot of them apparently sent back, and so there was a bit of a trade shortage. But we did try and work with it, and stepped in now and then to try and help the builders to find alternate trades where I could actually.
So now, what were the creative ways that you were able to do that?
So I actually, because we were, thankfully working with another builder as well at the same time, so we actually reached out to the other builder and asked if he had any good reputable trades to recommend to us. So this particular builder will basically make sure that they're okay, do some due diligence and take them on.
Absolutely. So if you treat your builders well, they will give you access to their resources and even give them to other trades, other builders that can actually work. So that was a very creative way of actually getting across that solution. Now, this project, we touched on out the front that this is in a more premium suburb called Gladesville. Now, Gladesville, I guess, what makes it a little bit more premium than anything else?
I think the fact that it's it's quite close to the city, only about 10 k's out, and it's also next to a very premium suburb called Putney, which is next to the water or on the water. So we're basically the ripple effect of being a suburb away from a very exclusive one.
The ripple effect. Good to know, folks, because sometimes if you can't get into the area that you want, go and have a look at the suburbs adjacent to that, see whether or not there are people who would like to be in the better suburb but don't quite have the budget. Sometimes they'll still pay a little bit more just to be close by.
That's right.
Okay, this being a premium suburb being Gladesville, what are some of the things that we need to consider with regards to the demographic that we're actually trying to target here? It's a little bit more of an affluent area. So what are some of the things you did from a build perspective to make this a little bit more impressive?
Yeah, so with this one, we had the build height through the middle of it. It's the 3 meters, 3.5 meters, and then it's obviously down here we can see the step down. It's gone to about 4.5 meters.
So yeah, that is a massive ceiling up there, folks. Massive, massive. So I'm looking here at a massive skylight looking out there, and I guess some really good light's going to come into the area.
We also had the single stringer beautiful staircase in the middle, which will really keep it open, and
a massive void for that stairwell as well. So like there's a big, it just has the feeling of space everywhere. How many bedrooms in this one?
5.
5 again, folks. 5 bedrooms in a duplex. Not that common in most areas, but you guys have done 2 sets of these in a row. So outstanding outcomes. Any parting gestures? This is project number 2 for you guys. Give us some insights for anyone who wants to actually start in property development. What are some things that you would give them as advice? Because you didn't pick it up first go. It took you a little bit of while to pick these projects up, but then you picked 2 up almost back to back. So what would you say about patience and persistence?
I'd say just from the start, you can do the development courses and learn all the theory, but the biggest probably point of action is to take action and to get your hands dirty essentially in the process. And that's where you're going to learn a lot when you're driving and going forwards, and learn bits and pieces, and then refine and improve your process essentially going forwards.
Very good. Viv?
Absolutely, I agree. And I think the time that you have, you spend it on research, so suburb research, so that you know it in and out, you know it really well. As soon as something comes up, you know that it's a good one, you snap it up, because you know your numbers, you know what are the good spots in the suburb, what's not. Make good relationships with the agents, because they're there to help you as well. It's in their benefit to try and sell more sites, so make friends with them, and get educated. But most importantly, take some action. It's not about just sort of getting the one best deal, but it's also just about getting some underway so that you learn and then you keep moving forward. So it's always the constant movement.
Absolutely. So folks, if you want to see the real deal in full detail, make sure you turn up to one of our upcoming Meetup events where Viv and Adrian are going to go through this deal and perhaps a couple more, hopefully in the not too distant future. So till then, folks, bye for now.